Hi, I wanted to make a video. Hi everyone. I wanted to go over a pattern that is very popular out on YouTube and everywhere in crochet world, and it's called corner to corner crochet. And I'm doing it mostly for my own memory because every time I try to start a project I forget how it begins. So I thought I would make a video. I do better with reading charts or watching how things take shape and then figuring it out from there. So oftentimes if I'm following a pattern, I'll take things apart and then make it over again. So I made a really pretty baby blanket using the corner to corner, and it's a great pattern because you can use your scrap yarn and work it into it and make a big square, or you can make a bunch of small squares, any different size. You can make squares the size of little 4-inch squares, 6-inch squares, 9-inch squares, whatever you want, and you can sew them all together. They could be like granny squares. You can stripe them, you can put different colors in them and then connect them in different geometrical shapes, or you can just keep going with one large square and add color or use a variated yarn. But it's a good pattern for if you have a stash of yarn you want to bust up and use up. So I'm going to show you. I'm using a 5.5 hook. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and I'm just going to make a smaller sample of a square, probably like a 5 or 6-inch square out the side as I'm going. But what I wanted to show is how you increase and how you decrease in one video. So the video might be a little long, but bear with me. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is make a slip knot. So everyone makes their slip knot different. I'm going to do this and put my needle through here. Now I'm going to yell at my cat and tell him to shush because he's been yelling at everything. But mostly when I turn on the video camera. Dustin, come here. Shush while I'm making the video. Come here. Coke. He's been yelling at the windows and everything. Alright. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to chain 6. Now we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dustin, stop! Okay. Then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to count down from the 4th chain from the hook. And you have 6 chains here, so you're going to count. You're not going to count the chain on your hook. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. And you're going to double crochet into that. So you're going to insert your hook and draw your yarn through, and you have 3 on your hook. Yarn over and draw through 2. Yarn over and draw through 2. You have your first double crochet right there. Dustin, I'm not going to yell over you. Come in here. He's just sitting there yelling. He just wants to be in the video. Okay. This little gap over here that's curved from where we made our 4, where we went into the 4th chain from the hook, that gap is what we're going to be working into, and it's very important to remember that, and also the number 6 and 3. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go into the next 2 chains on that 6th chain, and that's all you have left, and then you have your slip knot. So you're going to yarn over, do another double crochet into the next stitch. And then you're going to go into the next stitch. You're going to yarn over, grab that last stitch, not the slip knot, but the stitch. Pull your yarn through, over, pull your yarn through 2, over, pull your yarn through 2. and snug that up. What you have here is your first block, your first row of your square. You're going to turn your work, and you're going to chain 6 again. 4, 5, 6. You're going to count down 4. That's not included because it's on the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over and go right into that one there. Bring your yarn through. 2, go through 2, yarn over. And so the next 2 there. And now you have 1, 2, which is what you want to do. And now you're going to connect these, and you're always going to go to the left and connect. And you're always going to use that gap, and you're going to slip stitch into that gap, insert your hook, grab your yarn, and pull it through. And now you have 2 connected. And then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go into that gap and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And now what it looks like is a heart, but you're going to turn your work again. Like a heart. You're going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to count down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go into that next chain. Pull up your yarn into double crochet. Go into your next stitch. Double crochet. Go into your next stitch. And double crochet. And then you have this one little block that's not connected. It's just kind of hanging here. You're going to connect it here into that gap space, that curved gap space. You're going to slip stitch join. And this is how it looks now. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over and do 3 double crochets into that gap space. Dustin, what are you yipping about? It's been raining on and off, so he's been yipping. Okay. And then you got to connect, so you're going to go over here to that space there, pull through, and connect. That's what you have there. Then you're going to chain 3 again on the end. So when you get to the end, as long as you have a gap, you're going to make another square by chaining 3 and then doing 3 double crochet into the gap space. And you're adding on a block each time by doing that. Now, you can't go any, oh, I got to do one more, sorry. Can't go any further here. So now you turn. And you're going to chain 6. And this is kind of redundant in the beginning, but then I'm going to show you how to decrease and make it a square. Chain your 6. Just keep turning your work and chaining your 6 and going into the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, are you cuckoo? He's laying there just he's making the funniest sounds. go into that. Oh, I'm sorry. You're going to go into the 4th chain from the hook. What did I just do? Okay. You got your 6. Dustin! Oh, I know. The people next door came home, so he's yelling at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, when I got him, he was already neutered. He was 7 weeks old. And he acts like a cat that can eat. And I've asked his vet, what is up with him? That he's yelling all the time. Because they really shouldn't be that way when they're neutered. But she said it's the environment. It's just he never gets used to the noise from different people going in and about and things around. So he likes to video bomb me. Come here and stop yelling at everything. And then you have your gap right there. You're going to slip stitch into that. And now you have this, which looks kind of weird, but try not to look at the weirdness of it because it will confuse you. Chain 3, go into that gap. And what can get confusing about this is if you're holding your yarn one way and it makes it look different, and you'll think I'm doing it wrong, but you're actually doing it right. Then you're going to connect that there. Chain 3. And do 3 double crochet right into that gap space there. He's persistent. He's persistent. He's a very vocal cat. I thought he would grow out of this. He's 4 years old now, and he's still yelling at everything. And then you're going to slip stitch into this and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to make 3 double crochet here. You've added on another block. Then you're going to turn. So you can see that it's like your first row is here. 1, then 1, 2, then 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's just pretend this is as big as you want to make your block. You have to start decreasing. So what you're going to do is when you turn your work, when you decide it's as long as you want it to be here, and it's as long as you want it to be here, you're going to decrease. And what you're going to do is you're not going to chain that 6. You're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet, the top of it. Just insert your hook and slip stitch, and then insert your hook into the second double crochet, and then slip stitch into the third double crochet, right there. And then you're right on top of a gap there. You're going to go right into that gap, slip stitch into it, and chain 3. And then you're going to just continue to do what we were doing when we were increasing our square. We're making 3 double crochet into that gap. Sorry, I'm watching Prince on TV. Alright. Then you're going to connect here into that gap there. Slip stitch. Chain 3. I'm just going to keep talking over my cat. There's nothing there. And he makes me look because he keeps yelling. So you're going to do 3 in that gap. And then you're going to connect into that next gap right there. So you're going to connect into the far left gap that's always set up for you right there, that curved gap, and chain 3 and yarn over and double crochet 3 into that gap space. Small yarn. And then you're going to connect here into that last space right there. Okay, but you're not going to make another block there. You're going to turn. And you'll see that your yarn is not going to be on the end anymore. It's going to be, your work is going to begin further and further over. So you're going to be right set up right near your slip stitch. So you're going to slip stitch into your first, top of your first double crochet and pull it through. And slip stitch into your second. And slip stitch into your third. And you're right on top of that gap again. So you go right in there and you slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to do a 3 double crochet in there again. Because you're closing up your square. And then you're connecting here. And the gap is right there. Slip stitch, pull it through, chain 3. Dustin, come here. Go into that gap right there. Yarn over, go into that gap space. 3 double crochet in there. Honest to God, I told my vet, I said, "Are you sure he was neutered?" And she's like, "He's neutered." But some of them, she said, are neutered too young. And they still will keep yelling at everything. Okay. So there's nothing left to connect to here, so you see we're stopping short and returning. You see now you only have these here, so you slip stitch, turn, don't chain anything, just slip stitch right into those 3 again. 1, 2, 3, the top of the stitch, slip stitch across, and you're right up to the gap. And chain 3, yarn over, and go right into that gap, do 3 double crochet, and then we still have a place we can connect, so we connect with a slip stitch, but we're not going to make another block there. We're going to turn, and there's our square, and that's how you do it. And so you have your straight edge here on top, you have a straight edge here, and if I count, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I measure it, it will be, take this out, So depending on the yarn you use, it's going to look different. You got a 4-inch square. It's 4 by 4 by 4 by 4. So that's how you do it. And you can use any size hook, any kind of yarn. If you're going to mix your yarn to bust up your yarn stash, just stick with the same weight yarn on your body of your square, no matter how big it is. Or if you're doing little squares, I would save different weights for the border of your squares or for sewing your squares together. And that's it. And so that should increase from the corner from 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, or no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1. Depending on the size of the hook you use, you'll have different size gaps. If you were to use maybe a larger, like a 6.5 or 6.0, this is 4-ply weight yarn, you wouldn't have these gaps. If you were to use a bulky yarn, you wouldn't have the gaps. If you were to use a thin sport weight baby yarn, you would have these. And a smaller hook, you can achieve different looks. So it's really a cool, quick, fun way to do a blanket. To make a scarf, you could connect. You could make anything with it, just like granny squares, or you could just make one big blanket. So I just wanted to make the video because I've done the corner to corner blanket a couple of times, and it's like an optical illusion. If you're turning it a certain way, you'll think you're doing it wrong. I always think I'm doing it wrong, so I wanted to just make the video. That's how you do it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. Go take care of my cat now.